Hare Krishna. I offer my humble obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON, east of Kailash, Delhi. I am very inspired and honored and be grateful to be amongst all of you today. Whenever I come here, I receive a lot of love and affection, and you are a wonderful example of good Vaishnava hospitality and Vaishnava love and care under the guidance of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj. Also, I must say the kind of inspiration that the devotees here are spreading all over the world and bringing more and more people to Krishna consciousness through wonderful temples, amazing deity worship, exceptional book distribution, very, very innovative ways of preaching Krishna consciousness. All that is very, very inspiring to many devotees across the globe. I offer my obeisances to His Grace Mohan Rup Prabhu, His Grace Rishi Kumar Prabhu, His Grace Amogalila Prabhu, and the many other senior devotees at different temples in this area, like Rukmini Krishna Prabhu and many others. So I seek a lot of inspiration from all of them, and I am also a recipient of good love and care and affection from many of them. So thank you so much for being what you are. Today Rishi Kumar Prabhu asked me to speak on the topic of Bhishmadev's glories, life, teachings, and departure of Bhishmadev. That's the topic he gave me. There is no sloka as such. That's okay. We'll just glorify Bhishma to the best of our ability, based on Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhishmadev's glories are specifically mentioned in the Bhagavatam in the 9th chapter of the 1st canto, more prominently. So, as all of us know, Bhishma is one of the Mahajans, but Bhishma's life and Bhishma's character is very unique, in the sense that many devotees serve Krishna by being on the side of Krishna and his devotees, but Bhishma is one devotee who was standing on the side of adharma and serving Krishna. How can you serve Krishna by standing against Krishna, by standing on the side of adharma? It's very unconventional, isn't it? That is Bhishma's special way of serving the Lord. And Bhishma also is an eternal servant of the Lord. He also has the mood of this virya rasa, chivalry. He wants to fight with the Lord. Another way of, another unconventional way of serving the Lord. Who wants to fight with the Lord? We worship the Lord by showering flowers. Gopinam nayanotpalarchitatanum go gopasanghavritam govindam kalavenu-vadanaparam divyanga bhusham bhaje. So the Vaishnava scriptures say that Gopinam Nayana Utpala Archita Tanum, Krishna's Tanu, Krishna's body, is Archita, is worshipped by what? The flowers of the gopis' loving glances. And of course, devotees directly shower flowers, not just glances, flowers of their glances, but they shower flowers also. But Bhishma is not showering flowers on Krishna. Bhishma is showering arrows on Krishna. Any devotee who would shower arrows on Krishna, and that's considered very, very amazing worship, and Krishna is receiving them. And when you throw flowers on the deities, they have a very pleasant experience. When you throw a sharp arrow on somebody, it pierces their body and they get some blood. Seeing that blood, Bhishma is enjoying. So seeing the perspiration and some wounds on Krishna's body, Bhishma is enjoying. Not a not a conventional way of serving the Lord. Before even we enter the life and teachings and departure of Bhishmadev, let me just clarify here that we cannot have very stereotyped expectations or understanding of this is how a devotee should be. Not necessary. A devotee can be in multiple, the service of a devotee can be in multiple ways. We cannot say a devotee has to serve in this way only. Of course, for all practical purposes, we follow the regimen given by the acharyas and the standards set by the scriptures. We need to follow the conventions, rules, regulations, prescriptions, prohibitions. Whatever regimen is prescribed in our sadhana, bhakti, we will follow that. However, there are some unique devotees, special devotees who serve Krishna in special ways also. Bhishma is like that. But why? Why Bhishma has to serve in such an unconventional way? Why Bhishma has to stand against dharma, against the Pandavas, stand against Krishna and shower arrows on Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Why can't just Bhishma leave Duryodhan, forget my vow, forget my commitment or obligation to Hastinapur throne, let me just go and join the Pandavas, let me just go and join Krishna, let me serve from there. I will fight only on the side of dharma, not on the side of adharma. One can say like that. If Bhishma has done it, probably many people would have appreciated him more. Probably people would not have misunderstood Bhishma. Many people misunderstand Bhishma. Why Bhishma kept silent when Draupadi Vastrapaharan is happening? Why Bhishma took the side of adharma? Why Bhishma was fighting in favor of Duryodhan and showering arrows on Krishna and the Pandavas? Many people have questions even till date. Right? He is very knowledgeable. He is very dharmic. He knows all the Shastras. And he is a devotee of Krishna. How can he do like this? So people kind of criticize Bhishma even till date. But tolerating all the criticism, being unaffected by all the criticism, or even after anticipating that people might criticize me in future, still Bhishma took the side of adharma. Not at heart. Not at heart. At heart he is always on the side of Krishna. At heart he is always on the side of Pandavas. But practically speaking, he worked against the Pandavas. The reason is Krishna wanted to give an important lesson to the whole world. What was that lesson? The lesson was that however experienced you may be, however exalted you may be, however talented you may be, however learned you may be, if you take the side of adharma, you will have to be defeated even by an inferior warrior. In comparison to Bhishma, Arjuna is very small, very young, junior. Even a junior can defeat you. Even your grandson can defeat you if you take the side of adharma and if your grandson is on the side of dharma. Krishna wanted to give this important message. Dharma can never win in front. Adharma can never win in front of dharma. That's the message that Krishna wanted to give. And Krishna used Bhishma as an instrument. So Krishna either wants to establish dharma or offer his special teachings to the people in this world. And to do so, Krishna may engage some of his devotees as instruments, as tools. As Krishna himself said in the Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Tasmatva muttishta yasholabhasva jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihataha purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavyasachin. Tasmatva muttishta yasholabhasva. My dear Arjuna, get up. Uttishta, get up. Yasholabhasva means you gain some yasha, fame, reputation. Jitva shatrun, conquer your enemies. Bhungshva rajyam samruddham means you enjoy a prosperous kingdom after winning this Kurukshetra battle. Till now, it seems that Arjuna had to do so much hard work. Tasmatvam uttishta, getting up. Yashola bhasva. Gaining reputation is great, but before that, jitva shatruna, I have to conquer enemies. Bhungsharajman samudram is great. I can enjoy, but there is hard work to be done. He has to fight. But to relieve Arjuna's stress, Krishna says, Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva. Purvameva means before only, already. Mayaivaite, by me, nihataha. All these people are killed. I have already killed them. And what am I supposed to do? Arjuna says, you just have to manifest their death. Right? So judge already decides this person has to be killed. And the soldiers or attendants there, they have to implement the decision. Arjuna, your role is like that only. Mayaivaite nihataha purvamema. By all these people have already been killed. As soon as they touched the sari of Draupadi or hair of Draupadi, and when they insulted you, you glorious devotees, I have decided these people have to die. Bhima must have taken a vow, I will kill all the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. But it is Krishna who has already decided their death, and Bhima is manifesting their death. Similarly, many other warriors on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna decided their death, and Arjuna has to manifest their death. Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavya. You be nimitta matra means be an instrument, be a tool in my hands. Bhava savyasachin. Savyasachi means one who can shower arrows from both hands. How, I don't know. Don't ask me. I never released one arrow also in my life. But he can release arrows from both hands. So Krishna, on one hand, he is praising Arjuna. You are Savyasachi. You are such a celebrated warrior of your times. You have so many military certificates. You are the favorite student of your Guru, Dronacharya. Although you have so many military certificates, you are Savyasachi, still you are Nimitta Matram. Means however talented you may be, however experienced you may be, however famous or popular you may be, you are still an instrument in Krishna's hands only. In one line, see how Krishna described. Nimitta Matram Bhava Savyasachin. Nimitta Matra, you be an instrument, although you are a Savyasachi. To act as an instrument in someone's hands when we are not so talented is easy. मुझे कुछ आता नहीं, ठीक है, let them use me the way I don't know what to do, let them guide what am I supposed to do, I don't know how to do, let them direct me. That's easy. But Arjuna is very talented, Savyasachi, but still you are a tool in my hands. You may have a tool of arrow and bow in your hands, but you yourself are my tool, my instrument, Krishna says. But Arjuna's condition is much easier, by the way. Arjuna, by acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands, what is he getting? Yashola bhasva, he is getting fame. He is also getting a prosperous kingdom. Jitva shatrun bhungshva rajyam samruddham. He is getting samruddha rajya. He is getting a prosperous kingdom, and yasha, he is getting great reputation, right? By acting as Krishna's instrument. But by acting as Krishna's instrument, what is Bhishma getting? Ill fame, bad reputation. Bad reputation for taking the side of adharma. Very bad reputation for taking the side of Duryodhan, for not doing much when Draupadi was being insulted. He's getting bad reputation, right? But in the Draupadi Vastraharan, we can see it from multiple perspectives, right? There are multiple insights we can extract or we can observe. But the ultimate lesson in the Draupadi Vastraharan scene is Bhishma did not save Draupadi, Pandavas did not save Draupadi, could not save Draupadi. Dhritarashtra sitting on the throne, he has all authority, all responsibility, he was keeping quiet. And many other great warriors, Dronacharya, Bhishma, so many people were there, nobody could save Draupadi. But the lesson there is, even if every single power in the entire creation fails to protect you, Krishna is there to protect you. That's the ultimate Vaishnava perspective. Krishna is the ultimate protector. Just like in Gajendra's case, We see in Gajendra's case, Gajendra was struggling with that crocodile for 1000 years. Can you imagine? Gajendra was pulling the crocodile outside the lake, and the crocodile was pulling Gajendra inside the lake. And this big match, it's a very unconventional match. You have your hockey match and cricket match and many other matches going on in this world, and people sitting in galleries and studios, they watch. And people somewhere in different place, they watch live telecast. But here this match between Gajendra and the crocodile was being watched by so many elephants on the shore and so many devatas from the upper planets. Right? So, but nobody is coming to help Gajendra. 1000 years match. Gajendra tried to protect himself with his own strength. It didn't work. Gajendra was hoping my wives, my children, my friends and other elephants might help me. That also didn't work. Devatas, did they come? They were not thinking. They were not coming. All the elephant friends of Gajendra had a concern for Gajendra, had compassion for Gajendra. But they did not have the capacity to protect. And all the devatas watching this show from the upper planets, from the clouds, they had the capacity to protect Gajendra. They did not have the compassion. In this world, there may be so many people who are concerned about us, who are compassionate on us, but they have no capacity to protect us. And in this world, so many people may have capacity to help us, but they don't have the compassion to help us. Only Krishna has the capacity and compassion both to help us in any circumstance. So this, so this lesson we can learn from Gajendra's episode. We can learn from Draupadi's episode, right? So coming back to Bhishma and Arjuna. So for Arjuna it's very easy to act as an instrument in Krishna's hands, because by acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands, he is only getting fame and a prosperous kingdom. Samruddha Rajya he was getting, and he is also getting fame, yasha, tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva. But what was Bhishma getting by acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands? By acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands, Bhishma was getting ill reputation, and he never sat on the throne. He never got any Rajya, and he is losing his prana. So to act as an instrument, knowing that he will become successful, is easy. To act as an instrument of Krishna, knowing that you will be a failure, knowing that you will be defeated, knowing that you will get ill reputation, knowing that people in all future generations will criticize you, will misunderstand you. It's very difficult to act as an instrument like that. You agree? Vritrasura also, he acted as an instrument in Krishna's hands. You know Vritrasura's story. Vritrasura was fighting with Indra, and Indra was holding a special weapon called Thunderbolt. And this Thunderbolt was personally given by Lord Vishnu. Basically, he is told, you take Dadhichi's bones, and these bones of Dadhichi were empowered by his austerities, and this powerful weapon, this Thunderbolt weapon, Vajrayudha, will have the Shakti to kill Vritrasura. Indra, this is my word. This is my blessing, this is my benediction, this is my prediction that you will be able to kill Vritrasura. The Lord, who is the object of worship of Vritrasura, he planned for Vritrasura's death. Can you just imagine? The Lord is telling a mixed devotee, Indra, to go and kill a pure devotee, Vritrasura. And how did the pure devotee take it? My God, the Lord is planning for my death. He's sending his immature or smaller or younger or not so pure devotees to kill a pure devotee. How will the pure devotee take it? He could take it, therefore he is a pure devotee. Right? So Vritrasura did not feel emotional. Vritrasura did not feel that, my God, how can the Lord plan for my death? And if he is planning for my death, why did I worship him? And why should I worship him? That is the question of an average person. Many people who undergo so many difficulties, they feel that, does God exist? Is he hearing my chanting? I am chanting every day, 16 rounds. Of course I am sleeping. Of course I am not attentive. Although I am not attentive in my chanting, he should attentively hear my chanting. That's expectation, right? Right? We don't hear the holy name and we are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, and we see many things around. So we are not attentive in hearing the holy name, but we expect Krishna to be very attentively hearing our holy name, chanting, and destroy all our calamities. No difficulties, no distresses, no unexpected happenings in life. Everything should happen according to my expectations. Krishna, then only I believe that you exist. Then only I believe that you hear my prayers. That's a typical nature of a average conditioned soul who is trying to follow some spirituality. But knowingly, these devotees like Vritrasura and Bhishma are acting as instruments in Krishna's hands, knowing that they will be defeated, they will be defamed, and they will be killed. Right? So Vritrasura was killed by Indra, who is a much junior devotee. Of course, Indra is a devotee, but he's not as advanced as Vritrasura. But by the Lord's arrangement, by acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands, Vritrasura accepted defeat in Indra's hands. Amazing. Similarly, Bhishma, knowing that he will be defeated in this war, knowing that he will be killed by Arjuna, he acted as an instrument. Knowing that he will be defamed and he will be criticized by so many generations, even after 5,000 years now, Bhishma agreed to take the side of Adharma because Krishna expected that service from him. So, acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands is not that easy always. It's not that you will always attain some pleasure only by acting as an instrument in Krishna's hands on a material plane, by the way. But on a spiritual plane, you will get Krishna's blessings. Let people in this world misunderstand me, but Krishna is pleased with me. And pure devotees will understand, mature devotees will understand my intentions. So devotees are not misunderstanding you, Krishna is not misunderstanding you. Even if the world misunderstands you, what difference does it make? Krishna's grace is more important than public disgrace. Vaishnava's grace, Guru's grace is more important than public disgrace. Bhishma thought like this. Okay, let me just act as an instrument in Krishna's hands. But how did Krishna reciprocate with Bhishma? So, very, very sweet descriptions given in the first canto of Bhagavatam. Krishna just protected Parikshit Maharaj. So as soon as Ashwathama released the Brahmastra to kill this little baby in the womb of Mother Uttara, then immediately Krishna entered the womb. Putra came running to Krishna. Pahi pahi maha yogin deva deva jagatpate na anyam twadabhayam pashyet yatra mrityuh parasparam. Pahi pahi maha yogin. Oh great mystic Krishna, please protect me. I can't see anyone else on this planet except you who can protect me. Na anyam twadabhayam pashyet. This is like little embarrassing or awkward for the Pandavas to hear, right? From a material perspective. Na anyam twadabhayam pashyet. We can't. Uttara is saying, this young girl at the time, basically, she is very young. Abhimanyu is very young. She is also very young wife. She just became pregnant. So, and Pandavas are so great, celebrated warriors. Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai. So Pandavas are celebrated warriors. In the presence of Pandavas, in the presence of Bhishma, in the presence of Bhima, in the presence of Arjuna, in the presence of Yudhishthir, Uttara is saying, Na anyam twadabhayam pashyet. Krishna, I don't see anyone else except you who can protect me. Arjuna is there to protect you. Bhima is there to protect you. But he says, Na anyam twadabhayam pashyet. Only you can protect me. Did the Pandavas get offended? My God, why is she saying like this? Because Pandavas find it obvious. Of course, there is no one else to protect Uttara except Krishna. So this is the exclusive dependence. So devotee thinks that whatever one accomplishes, whatever one achieves, whatever one does, is only by Krishna's grace. They will not get offended. So Pandavas were not offended. Anyways, coming to the main point here. So Krishna entered the womb of Mother Uttara and protected Parikshit Maharaj. He actually took the shelter of Uttara's womb, and gave shelter to Uttara. So this Krishna protected, and then he was about to leave. Kunti Maharani offered prayers. Krishna heard the prayers. Now he was about to leave. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj came there. Yudhishthira was overwhelmed with guilt. Yudhishthira was feeling so bad that because of me so many people had to die just to keep me on the throne of Hastinapur. Hundreds and thousands of soldiers had to sacrifice their lives. I incur all the sinful reaction. What happens to their families? Their families lost some strong men. So definitely I'll incur so much sin of their deaths. So just like an earthen pot that was used to store some liquor cannot be cleaned even by washing it in rivers, similarly Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling that I cannot be relieved of this sinful reaction even if I conduct so many sacrifices. So he's feeling guilty. Then Krishna said, whatever you did is for the establishment of dharma, and there is nothing wrong in what you have done. And this Kauravas headed by Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni, all these people have committed so many mistakes, so many offenses, so many atrocities against you. So there's nothing wrong in fighting with them and getting the kingdom back. So in so many ways, Vyasadeva was explaining, Dhaumya was explaining, Krishna was explaining to Yudhishthira Maharaj, but Yudhishthira was not getting pacified only. You know why? Very important point. Krishna, while standing in front of Yudhishthira, is trying to convince him, pacify him, console him. But that same Krishna sitting within the heart of Yudhishthira saying, don't hear me. Don't listen to me. Don't accept my words. That's why Krishna is described as Adbhuta Karmana, one who performs wonderful activities, right? So from within, Krishna is telling Yudhishthira Maharaj, don't listen to me. Just consider that all my words are irrelevant. Just don't accept my words. Just keep saying no. But from externally, Krishna is convincing me, hey, no, everything is correct. You have not done any mistakes. Why is he doing that? Because he wanted to glorify Bhishmadev. He wanted Bhishma to convince Yudhishthira Maharaj. At this moment, Krishna took all the Pandavas dressed in very royal attires, like great kings. So far they were like Vanvasis last 13 years, but now they are dressed in royal attires like kings. And Krishna wanted to satisfy Bhishma by showing this pure devotees Pandavas in this attire when Bhishma is about to leave this world. So Krishna brought this Pandavas in front of Bhishma Sadam. He became so happy, right? Just because his devotees are... Initially when I read first canto, I got this doubt. Why Bhishma is so happy seeing the Pandavas in a royal attire? After all, they got some material kingdom only. Hastinapur, they became kings. So material prosperity of a devotee, will it give pleasure to another devotee? Why should he get excited that when he is about to leave? The answer is not the material prosperity there. The answer is that dharma won ultimately. Adharma, represented by Duryodhan, is not supposed to sit on the throne of Hastinapur. So the personification of dharma, Dharmaraj, Yudhishthira Maharaj should sit there. And that gives pleasure to Bhishma, right? Basically devotees are on the side of dharma. Although they fight on the side of adharma, circumstantially like Bhishma, they are always on the side of dharma. So our Bhishma became very happy. Now Krishna is standing there. Krishna is so humble. He gave a class. It didn't have any impact on Yudhishthira's mind. Now he is asking his devotee Bhishma to give class. And Bhishma gave class and Yudhishthira is completely convinced. And although Krishna apparently made Bhishma to be misunderstood by so many people in those days and even now also, but Krishna glorified Bhishma so much at the time of his departure that he not only brought the Pandavas there, not that he only came, he brought all the universal celebrities including Brahmarshis, Rajarshis and Devarshis and Devatas and Munis and Siddhasattamas there. Many people like Bharadwaja, Parashuram, Sukadeva Goswami, Narada Muni, Angira, all the universal celebrities appeared there at the time of Bhishma's class. So Bhishma was giving this class to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Bhishma was explaining so many things. Now, as soon as these Pandavas came in front of Bhishma, Bhishma said, Aho kashtam aho nyayam yadyuyam dharma nandana Jeevitam narhata klishtam vipra dharmachyut ashrayah. Aho kashtam aho anyayam. What great difficulties and what great injustices you all have faced, Pandavas. But because you have taken shelter of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta. Vipra means the devotees in this context. Dharma means bhakti in this context. Achyuta is Krishna. So, you may face so many injustices, you may face so many difficulties, but if we take shelter of bhakti, bhaktas and Bhagavan, you will be protected. Vipra dharma achyuta ashreha. That is the secret of success of Pandavas. They are always taking shelter of Vipra, Dharma and Achyuta. They are always protected, although they are facing so many kashtam, difficulties, and anyayam, injustices. There is a difference between kashtam and anyayam. You know this. Kashtam is difficulty that comes. It could be because of extra cold in winter season, there is some difficulty. It could be some natural calamity. So difficulties oftentimes come in our lives even though somebody doesn't deliberately cause them to us. Right? Nobody is trying to trouble you deliberately, but still you may experience some difficulty. But injustice is not like that. Anyayam is not like that. Anyayam is something where somebody deliberately, wantedly, purposely trying to trouble you. So Pandavas did not face only difficulties, kashtam, they also faced anyayam, injustice. We get both. Let's be aware of this. In this world, we get kashtam, we get anyayam also. But whether it is kashtam or anyayam, how can we survive? How can we thrive through those kastams and anyayams? By Vipra Dharma Achyuta Ashreha. And these difficulties will come in the life of not only immature sadhakas, even in the case of pure devotees also. Yatra dharma suto raja gada panir vrkodaraha krishnostri gandivam chapam suhrut krishnastato vipat. Yatra dharma suto raja, the place where dharma suta, Yudhishthira Maharaj is there. Gada panir vrkodaraha, Vrkodar Bhima is there. Such a performer of Herculean tasks. Bhima has the strength of 10,000 elephants in one arm. Somebody was saying, you keep 10,000 elephants in one row, Bhishma would punch the first elephant. The 10,000th elephant will fall down. Just imagine what must have happened to the first elephant. Chutney, right? That is Bhima's strength. So, Yatra Dharma Suto Raja, Gada Panir Vrkodaraha Bhima, Krishnostri Gandivam Chapam. And there is Savyasachi Arjuna. But, and not just the Pandavas definitely had great spiritual strength in the form of this Dharmaraj, Yudhishthir. They had great military strength or material strength in the form of Bhima and Arjuna. More than these strengths, they had the greatest strength of Krishna being their personal well-wisher. Suhrut Krishna. Krishna is their Suhrut, friend, well-wisher. Everything for them. Sarathya Parishada Sevana Sakhya Dautya. You know that shloka? Sarathya Parishada Sevana Sakhya Dautya Virasana Nugamanastavana Pranaman Snigdheshu Pandushu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnu or Bhaktim Karoti Nripatis Charana Ravinde. So Krishna is everything for this Pandava. Sarathi, Dautya, everything. Suhrit Krishna. Still Tato Vipat. Although they themselves are very well qualified and well equipped with all spiritual resources and material resources, and Krishna is personally their friend and well-wisher and companion, still Tato Vipat, still they underwent so many difficulties. These are the words that Bhishma is saying, realized words. While lying on this battlefield of Kurukshetra, with every centimeter of his body pierced by the arrows of Arjuna, with not a drop of blood lying there within his body, not a single limb of his body is moving except his tongue. With the tongue he is doing his service to Krishna, speaking dharma to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then he further said, oh, you Pandavas, you suffered not because of prarabdha karma. Many people suffer because of their prarabdha karma, but your suffering is because of not prarabdha karma. Then Sarvam kala kritam manye bhavatam cha yata priyam. This is all caused by time. Oh, really? Karma he eliminated. He is bringing in kala, another cause of their suffering. Sarvam kala kritam manye. All the difficulties you experienced is because of kala. But how can kala affect devotees? Kal cannot affect devotees. Time cannot affect devotees. You want a proof? Let's go to the second canto Bhagavatam. Ayurharati vaipumsam udyannastam chayannasau tasyarte yat kshano nita uttama shloka vartaya. So the rising and setting of sun will reduce one day in the lifespan of a conditioned soul. Means they are one day closer to death. With every sunrise, with every sunset, the conditioned soul is coming one day closer to death. But devotees who are absorbed in Harikatha, with every rising and setting of sun, they are not coming one day closer to death. They are coming one day closer to Krishna. They are coming one day closer to Krishna, and there is more nuance to it. For an ordinary conditioned soul, death means leaving relatives, leaving family members, leaving friends, leaving home, leaving property, right? But for a devotee, death means going to the real home, going in the company of real relatives, real family members, entering one's eternal home, right? That is the death for a devotee, right? So, Kal cannot affect a devotee. Sarvam Kala Kratam Manye is correct in some cases, but in Pandava's case, all the difficulties they faced are not because of Kala, not because of time. Then, who caused difficulties? Tasmadidam Daiva Tantram. Everything is personally orchestrated by Krishna. Because of Krishna, Pandavas faced difficulties. Difficult to digest this statement, right? Right. Very difficult to digest this statement. It is Krishna's will that Pandavas underwent so many difficulties. Why? Why Krishna allows his devotees to experience difficulties? The answer is very simple. Krishna wants to announce to the whole world how faithful devotees are. Even if I subject my devotees to unlimited calamities, they will never lose their faith in me. They will never lose their trust in me. They never doubt Krishna's intentions or integrity, despite undergoing so many difficulties. That's the power of a devotee. The real power or strength or quality of a devotee is to never lose faith in Krishna's intentions and integrity, despite experiencing so many reversals in one's life. Pandavas are an example of that. Pandavas never lost faith. Uttara never lost faith. Uttara never said, this Krishna never saved my husband Abhimanyu. Will he save my son Parikshit today? I will not go to him. I will go to somebody else. Let me find some other devata. She did not think like that. She is saying, na anyam tada bhayam pasye chatra mrityuh parasparam. I don't see anybody else except you, Krishna. If somebody questions her, why did Krishna not protect Abhimanyu, your husband? If you are saying na anyam tada bhayam pashyet, if you are saying nobody is there except Krishna to protect, why did he not protect your husband? Uttara will definitely answer like this. If somebody had a podcast with her, Uttara would say, even punishment of Krishna is protection. Even apparent lack of material protection from Krishna's side is ultimate spiritual protection. So devotee never doubts Krishna's intentions, although there is an unpleasant situation in their life, right? So even if a devotee dies untimely, apparently, where will the devotee go? The devotee will go to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha or Goloka. Or if there is some big bhakti or some service is still pending, they will get another opportunity to continue their bhakti in a different situation. They will not go to hell, definitely, 100% sure. If they have done some sincere bhakti even to some degree in this life, why would they go to hell? They will go to another situation where they can continue their bhakti. So that much faith people have. But still devotees lament when a devotee departs. The reason is they feel separation. They miss that inspiring example. Right? That's the only reason for their lamentation. But devotees never doubt Krishna. Devotees never perceive that this is lack of Krishna's mercy. Krishna is not merciful, therefore we are suffering. That's never the mood or understanding of a devotee, as exemplified by Uttara or Pandavas or everybody, right? So in this way, Bhishma was pacifying the Pandavas by speaking so many truths of life lessons. Then Bhishma diverted his attention towards Krishna. He said, Krishna, thank you so much for being present here. He was telling our Arjuna, Pandavas, after pacifying them, after giving them some counseling, Bhishma was telling the Pandavas that, see, this Krishna standing here, he's not an ordinary personality. You may be thinking that he's your maternal cousin, but he's not just your cousin, he's the Supreme Lord. Adyo Narayana Puman Mohayanna Bhijanati. I forgot the next line, but Adyo Narayana Praman, he's Adi Narayana. He's the Adi of Narayana. Krishna is not an ordinary person, right? So you should never consider him ordinary, although he's moving around like a member of Vrishni dynasty. So after pacifying Yudhishthir, then Bhishma glorified Krishna and asked, he had one request, he made one request. He said, Krishna, can you please wait for me? I want you to wait. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Sadeva Devo, O Deva Deva, please do Pratiksha, Niriksha, please wait for me. Why should I wait for you? He's already standing there. So many people from all over the universe, all the universal celebrities came there, and Yudhishthira and Pandavas were sitting there, and Bhishma is saying, Krishna, please wait for me till I complete this last service that you have given me. Krishna did not leave Bhishma even on the deathbed also. He expected Bhishma to do one more service before he departs. Bhishma thought that this is the right time for me to leave my body. Right? Why Uttarayana came. Many people think that Bhishma was waiting for Uttarayana time to give up his body so that he can get some auspicious destination. But he was not waiting for the time Uttarayana. He was waiting for the person whose name is Uttarayana. And that is Krishna. Why Krishna is called Uttarayana? Uttara is Abhimanyu's wife. Ayana means shelter. Because Krishna has given shelter to Mother Uttara, he is called Uttarayan. Because Krishna has taken shelter of Mother Uttara's womb, he is called Uttarayan. And Bhishma is waiting for that Uttarayana. Krishna, not Uttarayan Kala. He is not concerned about when to leave the body, Sunday or Monday, or night or day, Sukla Paksha or Krishna Paksha, or December or January. He is not thinking like that. Whenever a devotee leaves the body, if the devotee is mature enough, he will reach Krishna, as Krishna revealed in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, last few verses. Right? So this Uttarayana is not the time Uttarayana. Of course, it coincides. You can take that perspective also. But a deeper meaning of this Uttarayana is Krishna himself, and Bhishma is waiting for Krishna to come and give him darshan, and so that he can see Krishna and then give up his body by meditating on Krishna. But although Bhishma has been waiting for Krishna, and Krishna came on the battlefield before Bhishma departed, now Bhishma is requesting Krishna, you please wait for me. He was waiting. Bhishma was waiting for Krishna, but now Bhishma is asking Krishna, you wait for me. Why? Krishna, although I am ready to depart from this world by meditating on you, you have brought another service to me here. What is that service? To enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj in Raja Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, Stri Dharma, Dana Dharma, ultimately Bhagavad Dharma. So Bhishma was expected to enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj on all these dharmas. Right? And that's why Krishna brought all the Pandavas to Bhishma, so that Bhishma can enlighten them, Bhishma can educate them. So, Bhishma, you want to die? Okay, fine, I will come. You die. But I have some service before your death. Do this service and then you die, okay? That is Bhishma. That is Krishna's expectation. Right? Krishna did not leave Bhishma in the last days also. Do this service. Give a class and then die. Right? एक lecture दे दो और मर जाओ. Right? And means you come to me. So that is, and Bhishma wanted to do that service. Okay, Krishna, now I pacified them.
Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is ready to rule. Now, according to your instruction or inspiration, I have to enlighten Yudhishthira Maharaj and Pandavas in different dharmas. Till I do this, please wait there. Please wait. Okay, Krishna said, I'll wait. He was waiting. Meanwhile, Bhishma enlightened Yudhishthira Maharaj and all these dharmas like Varna Dharma, Ashram Dharma, Sri Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma, Dana Dharma, Raja Dharma, all these dharmas. Then class is completed. In Bhagavatam, class is finished in 2-3 shlokas only. No elaborate details. Only the names of the contents table is given in Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter. But later, prayers are given more prominence. Then after finishing this last service that Krishna has given to Bhishma, Bhishma shifted his focus to Krishna and started offering prayers. But why did Krishna expect Bhishma to do this last service? What is the reason? Can't he give the class? Actually, he gave the class. Krishna himself gave the lecture to Yudhishthira Maharaj, but from within his heart he is telling, don't listen to my class. Sleep in my class. Or at least listen from this ear and leave from this ear. And don't take notes. Don't register any of my teachings. Because you are meant to hear the main class from Bhishma. I am going to take you there. Right? So my class you should hear but don't hear. But not hear. So why did he do that? Because whole life many people misunderstood Bhishma, and at this moment Krishna wanted to make the whole world understand how glorious Bhishma is. Yudhishthira Maharaj is not an IVF boy to counsel. Prabhu, I have this confusion, I have this problem. Ye Gita ka sloka samajh mein nahi aa rahe. Can you please explain this to me? Sometimes IVF boys comes with small things. Or some life failure case, or some many other silly, petty reasons people may have, and they expect some senior person to solve their doubts, right? But Yudhishthira Maharaj is not like that. Yudhishthira Maharaj is not like an immature, conditioned soul or an IVF boy or something like that. He himself is a personification of dharma, knower of all dharmic principles, and to counsel and to give counseling session to Yudhishthira Maharaj is not an easy task, by the way. Who can act as a counselor of Yudhishthira Maharaj? Anyone here? Right? But Bhishma was counseling Yudhishthira Maharaj. That too on the deathbed. So if somebody asks you some suggestion when you are very tired, very exhausted. Yesterday I had a very exhausted day. Whole day I was traveling and giving classes to different places, like very exhausting. Then at the end of the day I had an online class, I had to cancel it. I said, I'll give tomorrow. Today I rescheduled it. I said, I cannot give class today. So when you are so tired, it's very difficult to speak. Like Bhishma, he was not just tired. He was lying on a bed of arrows without a single drop of blood in his body. He fought. So while lying on this bed of arrows, with only one part of his body moving, that is tongue, he has to give this class. Very serious class, not a casual class. Right? Class on so many dharmas. Very technical class. Sometimes some classes are very jovial, very light-hearted, very simple message. But some classes, Bhakti Vaibhav class, right? They are filled with philosophy, so many technical details. Say you have to give a class on cosmology or Kapila Siksha, right? It's very intense, right? He's giving a very intense class in a very, very uncomfortable situation, physically speaking, while lying on the bed of arrows. Not an easy thing. That too, giving class in front of Krishna, in front of his own Guru Parshuram, in front of Sukadeva Goswami, in front of Vyasadeva. Some speakers are there, okay, I can give class to IVF boys, okay. But in the class, few Maharajas also will sit. Or some very, very senior devotees also will sit. Your Siksha Gurus will sit. So we feel little awkward and embarrassed, right? Right? Unless we have very clear understanding of dharma, unless we have really pure intention to glorify Krishna, unless we are totally absorbed in the whole process of Kirtanam, Krishna Kirtanam, we cannot give that class. We become a little self-conscious, isn't it? Right? But Bhishma was giving class in front of all the universal celebrities in such a condition. That to giving class to whom? Yudhishthira Maharaj. He will not ask very simple questions. He will ask very, very heavy, profound questions. So, by making Bhishma speak like this in such circumstances, Krishna glorified Bhishma. Krishna announced Bhishma's glories all over the universe for all time to come. Let people understand how glorious Bhishma is. When I failed to convince my devotee, Yudhishthira Maharaj, my devotee, Bhishma convinced him. So Krishna wanted to give that credit of convincing Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma. He did not take that credit personally. This is how Krishna glorified Bhishma. Even though a devotee may be kept in some awkward circumstances, circumstantially by the Lord himself, the Lord will ultimately give the credit that the devotee deserves. Definitely. That's what he did with Bhishma. So even if the whole world misunderstands us, Krishna will never misunderstand us. Even if the whole world betrays us or doesn't reciprocate with our sincere heart, Krishna will never fail to reciprocate with our sincere heart. That's what he did in Bhishma's case. Now Bhishma started offering prayers. Iti mati rupa kalpita vitrishna Bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni Swasukhamupagate kvachidvihartum Prakrutimupeyushiyad bhava pravaha Tribhuvana kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikaragauravaramparam Dadhane Vapuralakakula Vritsananabjam Vijaya Sakheratirastu me navadya. Like that, Bhishma's prayers are very, very sweet, very profound expressions of devotion you can find in these beautiful shlokas. He says, I think time is up, therefore we'll discuss the first shloka in just 1 or 2 minutes and we'll close. Iti mati rupa kalpita vitrishna. Iti matir, this mind, Bhishma is saying, my mind, let it be vitrishna. Let my mind's thinking, feeling and willing be withdrawn from all trishnas, all material hankerings, all material desires and material attachments. Itimati rupa kalpita vitrishna. And do what? So the mind should withdraw its thoughts and feelings and emotions and desires from all material distractions and focus on Krishna. Bhagavati satvata pungave vibhumni. That Bhagavan Krishna is satvata pungava vibhumni. So let my mind be completely focused on Krishna and not anyone else, not anything else. And that Lord is so merciful that swasukhamupagate kvachidvihartum. So, although he enjoys spiritual pleasures by his own spiritual potency in the spiritual world, swasukhamukapagate kvachidvihartam. Kvachidvihartam means just like a vihar, just like a tour, he descends to this material world once in a while. Prakrutimupeyushiyad bhava pravaha. So he comes to this material world once in a while to show his mercy for 3 purposes. What are they? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya. See, he does. So the Lord is transcendental, but still he is kind enough to descend on this material planet once in a while. So in this way, Bhishma is meditating on the Lord. Later he says Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam. Very beautiful prayers are coming up. But within the available time, we tried to meditate on few qualities of Bhishma on this auspicious occasion with the instruction of His Grace Rishi Kumar Prabhu. He told me to speak on this. I'll conclude here. Thank you very much. If there are any Hare Krishna. If there are any discrepancies in my presentation, I ask Amoglila Prabhu to forgive me, and all the other senior devotees here. Thank you so much. Grantharaja Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Questions? I don't mind. Up to you. Whatever time is available.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. So Prabhuji told that calamities to the devotee's life coming, in Pandava's case, coming due to this Krishna only putting the calamities in devotees.
Yes.
So how could we understand that if the calamities come in our life, personal life? Is it from Krishna or
our own past karma?
Yeah.
Our own misdeeds, our own misuse of our minute independence. Yes. In the case of a typical karmi or vikarmi, calamities are caused by their own karmas, past misdeeds. But in the case of a sadhaka, devotee, who is already practicing bhakti, who is doing Sravanam and Kirtanam, calamity may not come because of karma typically. Because karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Karmani nirdahati. So karma is burnt already. Right? But still, although a sincerely practicing devotee has burnt the karma, still there may be some anarthas left, some traces of lust, envy, pride, greed, and illusion are left. Secondly, not only anarthas, aparats are also there. Sometimes a sadhaka also may get into some aparats like Vaishnava aparat, Nama aparat, Dhama aparat, Guru aparat, Seva aparat. Some aparats are there. Because of aparats and anarthas, sometimes devotees who are doing Sravanam Kirtanam, they also may have to face some difficulties. It may not be technically karma. For more details, you can read Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, 8th shloka purport. But what about pure devotees? We spoke about materialistic people. We also spoke about devotees who are practicing bhakti. But pure devotees are not practicing. They are pure. Right? They are pure devotees. They are not practitioners. Pandavas are not like sadhaka bhaktas who are sleeping in their japa. Right? Pandavas are very pure devotees, very exalted. Kunti Maharani. Why do they suffer? Draupadi. They suffer not for their purification. When we suffer because of our anarthas or aparats, that's for our purification. The difficulty is meant to purify us. But pure devotees don't suffer for their purification, but for their glorification. Right? So just to announce how faithful a devotee is to this whole planet, for all time to come, devotee the Lord may expose a devotee to some difficulties and keep them faithful. Of course, they are always faithful, so that we get a message. But there is a finer nuance here. Acharyas say, Vishwanath Thakur says in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam purports, he says, this is rasa. A devotee experiencing difficulties is rasa. How? Say if you eat one gulab jamun now, after that one rasgulla, then later one rasmalai, then little payasam, then again some som papadi. Then somebody comes with a malpo and rabdi. Will you be able to eat it? Huh? After eating 5-6 sweets, half dozen sweets, will you be able to eat the next one? One more sweet? One more dose of sweet? No, right? But after eating some mirchi, nayanam galadhashru dharaya, vadanam gadgada rudhayagira. So when you eat mirchi bhaji and some tears are coming, then somebody comes with malpo and rabdi. You'll relish it, right? So after a series of sweets, after eating 5-6 sweets, you take one more sweet. It's not so relishable, it's monotonous, right? But after eating some spicy item and your throat is burning, then you eat sweet, then you can relish the sweet better. You are more eager, you are more desperate. Similarly, when there are only happy moments in a devotee's life, it seems very monotonous. If everything in a devotee's life is very comfortable, easygoing, happy, blissful, exciting, wow. It may be a little monotonous. If there are some difficulties, if there are some challenging circumstances, you face some anxiety while doing some service, there you can be more dependent on Krishna, you can be more prayerful. So we need to see calamities from that perspective. In the case of pure devotees, they see like that. Mother Earth is in some great difficulty, suddenly Krishna comes in some incarnation and releases her from her difficulty. That's a very special feeling that she will have. And he will go away. Then she will start missing Krishna. So in that situation of separation from Krishna, there is some special spiritual pleasure. And after a brief amount of separation, when Krishna comes back, there is another kind of pleasure. So even pure devotees also experience pain and pleasure in connection with Krishna. But on material plane, pleasure is also pain. On material plane, pain is pain, pleasure is also pain. But on spiritual plane, pleasure is pleasure, pain is also pleasure. Right? Therefore, there is no calamity for a devotee. How do we perceive calamities or difficulties? For us, calamity is an opportunity to intensify our dependence on Krishna, to increase our remembrance of Krishna, to realize that we are not the controllers or masters or proprietors or enjoyers, to realize Krishna's godhood. So that's how we need to see calamities. Ultimately, everything is caused by Krishna. You can see this is caused by Krishna for my purification. May not be for my glorification, but for my purification. And it's an opportunity for me to depend on Krishna more. But the focus is not on calamity, focus is on depending on Krishna, remembering Krishna. That's what Kunti Mata said. Vipadaha santutaha shashvat tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yasyat apunar bhavadarshanam. I want more calamities. We may not have the bandwidth to go in front of Parthasarathi and then pray, can you give me some calamities? I want some miseries. Give me some health problems. Give me some financial problems. Give me some relationship problems. We can't pray like that. We don't have so much bandwidth like Kunti Maharani. But whatever calamities come of their own accord, let's accept them with grace. Let's see them as opportunities for our purification. Let's see them as opportunity to remember Krishna, to increase our dependence on Krishna, to come out of this doership mentality and enjoyership mentality and controllership mentality. That's how we should perceive. Makes sense, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, you can see how many questions we can take.
One question, Prabhu. Prabhuji, one question only. That means that I never tasted nectar, but it was just nectar was flowing in your lecture. Thank you for that. Prabhuji, my question is that as you mentioned that Lord Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj in the mother's womb, why he did not protected Abhimanyu? If you please tell.
If you are saying lecture is nectar, you should have got the answer, by the way. But anyways, why Krishna did not protect? You remember I was making a point. Uttara never questioned Krishna. Krishna did not protect my husband. Will he protect my son Parikshit? She had faith. Whether Krishna protects us from a material danger or not, ultimately he protects us. Now let's come to the specific context that you are talking about. Parikshit Maharaj was saved by Krishna in mother's womb. But when Parikshit was cursed to die within 7 days by Shamika Rishi's son Shringi, Krishna did not protect. But actually, Krishna protected. Krishna terminated Parikshit Maharaj's tenure in this material world and stopped his position or his duties as a ruler of Hastinapur and brought him to spiritual world, allowing a devotee to continue in this material world as the ruler of some province versus inviting the devotee to Goloka or Vaikuntha, which is considered better benediction from Krishna. The second one, right? So Krishna did not protect Parikshit Maharaj when he was cursed to die, just so that we all can receive Bhagavatam, just so that we can discuss Bhagavatam now. Secondly, after hearing Bhagavatam for 1 week, Parikshit went back to Godhead, and we got Bhagavatam, and it's like a special blessing given to Parikshit Maharaj. It's not like indifference shown towards Parikshit Maharaj. It's not lack of protection. It's a form of greatest protection. Same thing with Vritrasur. Anybody?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
This devotee.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful lecture. You very nicely explain us why Krishna gave us miseries, where should we have to surrender, dharma, adharma, which Krishna favors. So, meanwhile, Prabhuji, you have said the nimitt matra. Devotee always think that Guru and Krishna make me nimitt matra. So, Prabhuji, you said the simple devotee, they think that yeah, they will make me nimitt matra, I am not qualified. But sometime, some devotee, they have excellence in their services. They are competent and they produce results also. So there, it will become very difficult that to give us as a nimitt matra to somebody, and we started seeing fault from our to our seva authorities and our authorities. So how can one become simple and one is ready to give as a nimitt matra instead of his excellence or whatever he has? So this is my question.
I don't know, somehow it's not fully clear, but whatever. Okay. Whatever skills we have, whatever talents we have, they're all given by Krishna. Prabhupada says, if a crow takes some peacock feathers and tucks in its tail and says, how beautiful I am looking. That's a comedy show by the crow, right? So crow will not look beautiful by tucking some peacock feathers in the tail. Similarly, when we also think that I am so talented, I am so great, I accomplished this much, that much. If we are thinking like this, then we are like that crow, that foolish or comical crow, right? So whatever we have, whatever we do, whatever is being done through us, is being done through us, not being done by us. So it is Krishna who is doing it. So unless Guru gives us blessings, unless Vaishnavas give us support, unless Krishna sanctions, unless Prakriti facilitates, we cannot do anything, we cannot accomplish anything. That's why Arjuna says, Tadvai dhanushtar ishavahar saratho hayaste soham rathi nrpatayo yata anamanti sarvam kshanena tadabhuda sadisha riktam bhasmam hutam kuhakara dhamivopamushyam. He says, although I am the Gandiva dhari, I have the same bow Gandiva, I have the same chariot, I have the same horses, I have the same arrows, I am the same Arjuna. Soham rathim nrpatayo yata anamanti. I am that same Arjuna who received respects and glorification and praise from so many universal celebrities and warriors. But I could not even defeat some cowheads after Krishna's departure. All my powers and talents are like money created by the magic wand of a magician. Right? You know, sometimes magicians put a white paper here, they roll and they bring 1,000 rupee notes or 500 rupee notes. If they can produce money like that, why are they doing these magic shows? Right? So they don't have to do magic shows. The payment they get is 2,000 rupees, but they are producing 2 lakh rupees by this machine. Right? That has no value. And you sow seeds in barren land, they will not produce any plants. You pour pure ghee in a pile of ash, you can't call it sacrifice. Yajna kiya. Kya kiya? You put so much 10 liters of pure organic ghee in ash. That's not yajna. Similarly, all the talents without Krishna are useless. Without Krishna's sanction, we cannot have talents. Without being used in Krishna's service, the talents are burden. The skills are big burden for us. Therefore, whatever talents we have, whatever resources or money or manpower or experience we have, we should understand that all this we got only by Krishna's grace, and that has to be utilized in Krishna's grace. For this, you can please read Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 15th chapter, 5th purport. Beautiful purport by Prabhupada. Brilliant purport. Every devotee must read and memorize it if possible. Right? Even Arjuna and Brahma and great Devatas also, they are able to do anything only by Krishna's grace. What to speak of us? So, in short, answer to your question is, the more you read Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we are in instrument consciousness, not accomplishment consciousness. Sometimes a struggling sadhaka or an immature devotee has accomplishment consciousness, but we need to have instrument consciousness. Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare.
We'll conclude.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I am very lucky, Prabhuji. I am from Bahrain, Balram Desh, and to have your live darshan. Prabhuji, I am the question that we are reading your books a lot in Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav. Prabhuji, I just want tips from you that how we can be some tips and tricks that we also can relish the Bhagavatam more and more. So we have so many focus, but we are still not focused in the Bhagavatam reading and also. With your experience, for the benefit of all, if you can give some tips and tricks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Tip. The tip is, you hear Bhagavatam from those who have taste for Bhagavatam, and their taste becomes contagious. That will infect us. What is a tip to get COVID virus? Embrace a COVID patient. Right? Similarly, the tip to get taste in Bhagavatam and relish Bhagavatam is, you hear from relishers, you observe relishers. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Nigama kalpatarorgalitam phalam sukamukhadamrtadrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Right in the beginning of Bhagavatam, a loving invitation is given to all of us. Open invitation. You don't have to send RSVP. Right? Main aa raha hu. Keep a seat for me. So open invitation is given to every single human being. Please come and relish this Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So we just have to accept the invitation. That's all. And one way of accepting that invitation is to sincerely hear Harikatha from devotees who have dedicated their lives to Srimad Bhagavatam, to the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, to the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. By hearing, we develop taste.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you very much. Prabhuji, you are an inspiration for us. The way you teach shlokas and you give classes. Thank you very much for the class, wonderful class. Today's Bhishmastami. So I want to ask one question that suppose if when Bhishmadev, he took the side of Pandava, Duryodhan, Kauravas, was that an indirect service? Because if Bhishma was not in that party, so Duryodhan would not had dared to do this fighting, war. So was that an indirect service to Krishna?
Why indirect? It can be direct service also. Sometimes direct services also can be unconventional. It's unconventional, but not necessarily indirect. In fact, Krishna was more merciful to Bhishma on the battlefield of Kurukshetra than even to Arjuna. How can we call Bhishma service indirect service? Because on the battlefield, Bhishma was always getting darshan of Krishna, face. Right, friend, face to face darshan of Krishna. But Arjuna is sitting behind, standing behind and absorbed in war. He's only seeing the back of Krishna. Of course, darshan of Krishna, whether from front or back, is always glorious. But there is some extra mercy that Krishna has given to Bhishma. In fact, what's happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra is not just some indirect service or even direct service. It's rasa. It's pure mellow relationship, devotional mellow. Because this Bhishma is in Virya Rasa, Krishna specifically gave him that darshan of Parthasarathi. In all the prayers of Bhishma, you see Bhishma is protecting, Bhishma is praying to Krishna by describing Krishna as Parthasarathi, Vijaya Sakha, Partha Sakha. So definitely Bhishma is experiencing his devotion or his bhakti for Krishna in the mood of Virya Rasa on the battlefield of Kurukshetra when the Rasik exchange is happening. It's not even just like service done by a sadhana, by the way, by a sadhaka. Sadhaka may do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam and all that. That is sadhana. That is some service in the practice mode. And even someone who is very mature also, they will do service. But here it's not just simple, typical service done by a sadhaka. Bhishma is having a rasic exchange with Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. There is rasa. It's on the plane of rasa. So it's not indirect service. It's more than direct service. It's rasic exchange. Okay,
Thank you, Vishnu.
Conclude. Thank you so much. I heartily thank all the devotees at East of Kailash for having me here and allow me to glorify Bhishmadev. And I take a lot of inspiration from Amoghilila Prabhu and his wonderful and innovative ways of preaching. And he's not only he speaks not only in a way that is very appealing to new people, but he's so absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was sharing his study habits in that podcast that we had with ISKCON Education Ministry. And recently I was sharing with him, I had his Bhagavatam class, the kind of mature perspectives he has given in those classes. So it's very heart-touching, and despite being so accomplished and serving so much, he's so grounded, so down to earth, so humble, so loving, so caring. So that's what
same to you,
inspires us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा. His Grace गौरांग दर्शन प्रभु जी की जय. देखिए 1.5 घंटा कैसे बीता, किसको पता चला? किसी को पता नहीं चला. तो ऐसी भागवत की जो कथा माधुरी है वो वास्तव में शुद्ध भक्तों से आती है. प्रभु जी ने बताया, जिन्होंने अपना जीवन डेडिकेट किया है श्रीमद् भागवतम को, उनसे सुनना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल और निश्चित रूप से ऐसे जिस तरह से भगवान कृष्ण गए थे, उज्जैन गए थे शिक्षा लेने के लिए, उस तरह से हमारे लिए भी उज्जैन यानी शिक्षा का केंद्र है. गोवर्धन इको विलेज की जय, भागवत विद्यापीठ की जय. ऐसे आप देखिए आने वाले 10,000 साल तक सबके सब इंडेटेड हैं गौरांग दर्शन प्रभु जी के लिए, क्योंकि उन्होंने हमको बहुत ही विशेष जो स्टडी गाइड्स दिए हैं श्रीमद् भागवतम के लिए, भगवद गीता के लिए, चैतन्य चरितामृत के लिए, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सुबोधनी. किस ने कौन कौन सुबोधनी के बारे में जानता है? एवरीवन. तो प्रभु जी की जो बुक्स है, मतलब जिस तरह से ग्राफिकली पिक्टोरियली प्रभु जी ने भागवतम को प्रेजेंट किया है, भागवतम अब कुछ समझ में आना शुरू होता है एक्चुअली, बिकॉज ऑफ सुबोधनी एक्चुअली. तो ये प्रभु जी के प्रति हम बहुत ऋणी हैं. और बच्चों के लिए भी उन्होंने बहुत सारी बुक्स लिखी हैं. और अगर आप अमेजोन पे जाएंगे और प्रभु जी की सिर्फ नाम लिखेंगे, इतनी बुक्स आती हैं. 35 बुक्स प्रभु जी लिख चुके हैं, और भी पता नहीं और कितनी बुक्स अभी आनी है बच्चों के लिए, चाहे वो चैतन्य प्रवाह हो, भागवत प्रवाह हो. सो मेनी बुक्स आर कमिंग. सो इसलिए आप वहाँ जा सकते हैं. एंड देन यू कैन ऑल्सो डाउनलोड दीज बुक्स. तो किंडल वर्जन में भी है और साथ ही हार्ड कॉपी पेपरबैक वर्जन में भी है. सो प्रभु जी का हम लोग बहुत ऋणी है दैट प्रभु जी एट सच अ यंग एज ही इज हैविंग सच टेस्ट फॉर श्रीमद् भागवतम, प्रीचिंग ऑल अक्रॉस. प्रभु जी की करीब 2.5 लाख बुक्स ऑलरेडी बिक चुकी हैं. 7,500 घंटे से अधिक प्रभु जी टीचिंग कर दे चुके हैं इजीली, सीमलेसली. तो प्रभु जी ने ऐसी भागवतम को ज्यादा एक्सेसिबल बनाया है. श्रीमद् भागवतम को प्रभुपाद जी के परपॉट्स हैं, उनको और अधिक एक्सेसिबल बनाया है, हमारे लिए ज्यादा कॉम्प्रिहेंसिबल बनाया है प्रभु जी ने. तो इसीलिए जिस तरह से लोग पहले नालंदा जाते थे, तक्षशिला जाते थे, अब हमको जाना चाहिए गोवर्धन इको विलेज, और वहां पर हमें सीखना चाहिए प्रभु जी से, गौरांग दर्शन प्रभु जी से. सो कौन कौन गौरांग महाप्रभु के दर्शन प्राप्त करना चाहता है? तो भी है गौरांग दर्शन प्रभु जी. तो हृदय से प्रभु जी का धन्यवाद देना चाहेंगे. इतनी सुंदर कथामृत प्रभु जी ने दी, इतनी सुंदर सुंदर टीचिंग्स इन कनेक्शन टू भीष्मदेव. वाओ. तो जो लोग हम 5 दिन की कथा में सीखते हैं, वो आज 1 दिन में ही हमने 1.5 घंटे के अंदर अंदर सीख लिया, बिकॉज ऑफ प्रभु जी ग्रेस. सो प्रभु जी के प्रति हृदय से हम लोग कृतज्ञता व्यक्त करेंगे बाय चैंटिंग हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. ईस्ट और वेस्ट, गौरांग दर्शन प्रभु जी इज द बेस्ट. श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, भीष्माष्टमी महामहोत्सव की जय, समस्त गति वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय, कृष्ण प्रसादम की जय. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.